Hey y'all, and welcome to PolitiBrawl. My name is Brian, and Jim Jordan absolutely grills this terrible woke Denver mayor who has been a leader of sanctuary cities, and now it's come back to bite him. The chickens are coming home to roost. Let's dive in.
This is Mr. Jordan from Ohio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mayor Johnston, who's Abraham Gonzalez?
Thank you, Congressman. He is a individual that was released from the county jail on Friday in the city and county of Denver.
That's all you know about him?
I do know that he was facing charges that the
Venezuelan gang member arrested by Border Patrol on September 20th, 2023, released into the country by the Biden administration. A few months later, he's arrested in your city, charged with aggravated assault. On March 11th, 2024, he's charged with motor vehicle theft, stole a car, and then on March 20th, 2024, Mr. Gonzalez is charged with felony menacing. 6 days after that last charge, ICE sends you a detainer, which includes an administrative warrant. Basically, it says if you're going to release this bad guy, this gang member who allegedly stole a car, menaced people, and assaulted people, give us a 48-hour heads up. Is that right? That refresh your memory?
I do know about the detainer request. I do know that we provided a notification of release.
What kind of notice did you give ICE when you released him?
We gave him notification. I'm not sure how long in advance it was. I do know that.
1 hour.
I do know that there were
1 hour notice, and you released him 5 days ago, right? Why not give him more heads up? Actually, let's put the slide up. Let's see what it says here. But let's put the slide up. This is what the Denver Sheriff's Department, it's kind of hard to see, so I'll read it. It says, Denver Sheriff Department, ICE notification being released to the streets. I simply said, just release him to us. You release him to the streets. Why not release him to ICE?
Thank you. What we've done, and we do this regularly, we've done 1,226 of these, is we notify
I'm asking about one. I'm not asking about the 1,200. I'm asking about Mr. Abraham Gonzalez, who's a gang member from Venezuela, stole a car, assaulted someone. You had him in your custody for how long?
I know that we released him.
345 days you had him in custody. And I said, hey, can you give us 48 hours heads up?
I don't know.
You gave him 1 hour notice.
Mr. Congressman, we notified them of release. There were 6 ICE agents present when he was released, so they had enough time to respond and to be present.
Respond where?
To the jail where we released him from. So we released him we notified them of the release time. When we notify them of release, they come to the jail facility to pick them up.
Why didn't you say that's not what you said. You said you release him to the streets. Did you release him to the streets? You release him to ICE?
What we do, sir, is we release him from our county jail, and we coordinate with ICE on that release time and release date so that ICE can come and pick them up from that location.
Pick them up where? In the parking lot?
Yes, sir. They're on the facility
property. Guess what happened in the parking lot?
I know, sir. I've reviewed the video. So I looked at it. I've talked to the sheriff last night.
One of the ICE officers got assaulted, didn't he?
I've reviewed the video,
They
sir.
had to tase the guy, didn't they?
Would you like me to answer, sir?
No, I'd like you to answer. Did they tase him?
I know that there were 6 officers that had multiple tasers. I saw the detention on video. So they had 6
officers. If you keep him in the facility and they come in the facility and get him, does it take 6 officers? Probably takes 2, doesn't it?
So we've been doing these, as I mentioned, 1,226 times. This is the first time I've been made aware of there's been an incident like this. So I reached out to ICE after I saw the video. I've coordinated with their team and offered to sit down and see if there are procedures we can change to make sure this works smoothly.
It's a simple question. You can release him in the parking lot, give ICE 1 hour notice, and they got to send 6 officers to arrest this guy. Or you can say, hey, here's what we're going to do. We're going to hold him. You come in and bring 2 officers in, and you turn him over there. Why not do it that way?
We have a city ordinance.
You know why you don't do it that way?
We have a city ordinance that governs.
Because you're a sanctuary city. This is the whole point.
No, sir, I disagree with you.
Oh, okay.
Because I'll tell you why. If you talk about sanctuary as a definition of shielding people from law enforcement, we do not do that. What we do is provide services. In this context, what we did is we coordinated the release.
An officer got assaulted because of your policy, which says we're going to release him to, in your words, not mine, to the streets. They have to arrest him in the parking lot. They bring 6 officers when they could have had 1 or 2 just come in your facility, in the jail, and take the guy there. But you won't do it that way.
I've seen the video. I've reached out to ICE. I've offered to sit down and coordinate on strategies. If we need to make adjustments to what we do on releases, we'll do that. This is the first time in the 1,226 releases I've heard of an incident,
I read your
so
written testimony last night. I read your written testimony last night. 4.5 pages. And you used the words safe, safer, or safety 13 times. talking about my job is to protect the safety of the people in Denver. We prioritizing making sure everyone in our community is safe. That's a lie, because it was not safer for the ICE agents who are part of your community. No way was it safer. The safest thing to do is to say, ICE, we got him in custody. Come here, we're releasing. We held him 345 days. We can't hold him a second longer. We can't wait for you to come inside the building. We got to let him go, so you have to arrest him in the parking lot. That is how stupid sanctuary policies are and what they mean to the community that you put at risk and to the ICE officers ICE officer who was assaulted. And they had to use a taser on the, it's not good.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman.
5 minutes is up.
Consent request.
We've been reporting for the better part of a year now that Venezuela quite literally opens up their jail cells. They tell the prisoners, leave, you can't stay here. And humanitarian organizations will fly them for free into the United States. And then they'll go to these sanctuary cities. They'll go to New York City, Chicago, in this case, Denver, or in the worst cases, in the case of Lake and Riley, they go to the literal third world country that is Athens, Clarke County. Yes, I'm a Georgia boy. I get to say that because the resort is the University of Georgia, and the rest of the area is literally a third world country. Seriously, just drive the loop around there. You'll see potholes the size of a pickup truck. Okay? It's awful. Democrats can't govern. And in the case of Denver, apparently it's even worse. Instead of waiting on Tom Homan and ICE to come in and pick up an illegal migrant who has been doing violent crimes there in the Denver area, instead of waiting for ICE to pick him up, they released him back on the streets. That sounds a little bit evil to me, don't you think? Doesn't that sound like something that a villain would do in order to release as much chaos as possible on the citizenry because they slighted him at the wedding reception? This is straight out of a Disney movie kind of villain move that you do. When you are in power, your job is quite literally to protect your citizenry. Okay? And when you have a violent, illegal migrant, what you do is you turn him over to the feds. It should be that simple, but it isn't for Democrats. Because for some insipid reason, they think that they're all these little Aladdins, that they're only committing crimes to have food for their family, when the reality is this dude was out there basically being a public menace. And finally, the Denver police had to release 6 cops to go after him and bring him to justice. And instead of getting justice, their citizenry had this dude released back on the streets. This, by definition, is evil. Okay? There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is evil, and it's going to end up way worse for Denver than they think. This is from Axios. The city is spending up to $2 million on legal prep, according to the Denverite. A former Biden White House counsel, Dana Remus, whose Washington, D.C. firm charges up to $1,000 an hour, will represent the city under a 1-year contract, including help with the committee's ongoing investigation after their hearing, because there's a whole bunch of other mayors that are getting grilled right about this same time. Mayor Johnston will be under oath. A single misstep or worse, a misrepresentation, could come back to haunt him and Denver. Literally, the mayor is lawyering up. Okay? You don't do that unless you are either very, very guilty or trying desperately to prove your innocence, and I really don't believe the latter. I kind of believe the former here. Because I've had the displeasure of driving through Denver in the last decade, and it is just an awful city to drive through. I could see crime literally everywhere just off of one random interstate exit, okay? It's not good up in Denver because the people out there who have moved to the suburbs, they moved to the University of Colorado, they get that wonderful view of the Flatirons, and then they wonder why they need armed guards to begin with, okay? These people are learning the hard way of how to protect your own borders, what it takes for actual security, and what it actually means to govern and protect your citizenry. Democrats have lost this ideal because they've noped on off to their ivory towers, to their wonderful little gated communities, and they wonder why the rest of the world is on fire. Okay? There is a problem going on in these Democrat communities because Democrats flooded Colorado, turned a red state into a blue state, and now they wonder why the blue state policies are following them. This is a problem that is plaguing the entire nation. We're seeing it here in Georgia. We're seeing it in Atlanta. We're seeing it in the nearby counties. We're seeing it in North Carolina. And people in the Midwest are smart enough to realize enough is enough. They have had Democrat policies for a long time now, and they're finally realizing that, wait a minute, this is insanity. Let's get some sane people in here to actually govern us properly. That's why Trump won all 7 of the swing states and turned the blue wall into a red wall. And I'm not talking about some Brian Jakes young adult fantasy here, okay? I am talking about the transition from a coalition of what used to be the stronghold of the Democrat Party is now becoming deep red territory. And it's happening faster and faster, all because the Democrats have forgotten what it means to actually govern and protect their citizenry. Mayor Johnston here deserves to be under the microscope. He deserves to be grilled in front of Congress, because this is quite literally a federal issue. When you have illegal migrants who have committed crimes, you take them to the federal level by definition. And these sanctuary cities and these woke mayors don't want to do it, but let's be honest, folks, the chickens are coming home to roost. They're seeing the writing on the wall, and they're realizing that, oh, we might have messed up here. Gee, you think? With the crime rates in those areas, do you really think they've messed up? Let me know what you think, if Democrats have gotten the message yet, in the comments below. My name is Brian. I hope you enjoyed this segment here on PolitiBrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Until then, y'all have a good one.